So, hello to everyone. Happy to see you here. Thank you for being here. I welcome you to the official presentation of the platform Obrii. And as I understand, this round of applause means that you know where you are. And basically, Obrii is a digital labor market ecosystem. And today, we will learn more about this platform as much as we can to understand how it works and how can we scale it up to across our nation. But of course, first, we will start this day as any day in our country. Today, I'm sure in the next decade we will start the same way. We will start with the memory and gratitude. That's why I ask everyone to stand up and honor the memory of fallen Ukrainian soldiers, children, civilians, everyone who lost their most valuable life. Thank you.
Ще не вмерла України ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануємо ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. Душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду.
Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes.
Дякуємо. Ну що, шановні пані та панове, сьогоднішній наш захід,
is dedicated to the launch of a digital labor market ecosystem, and it is called Obrii. The event was organized by the Ministry of Economy, Agriculture and Environment with the support of the partners, specifically Partnership Fund for Resilient Ukraine and Visa. Please give them a round of applause. And separately, we would like to thank the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine for supporting the implementation of this platform, as well as all partners that joined this effort. The Digitalization for Growth and Integrity and Transparency project, implemented by the Eurasia Foundation and funded by the UK International Development, Better Regulation Delivery Office, World Bank Group, as well as Cody, Kidsoft, SoftServe and IMA Diia agency. Thank you. So, today, as you know, we are presenting Obrii, a digital labor market ecosystem. And before starting to talk about the product, what we want to say is why the labor market is not only about the economy, but also about the resilience of our country, its recovery, its future. And that's what we are going to start with. Because Ukraine is changing its labor market amid this massive transformation, and we are doing that before the full-scale invasion, and during the full-scale invasion we use digital technologies, and we are doing that together with our partners who consistently support our country. That's why please give a round of applause to Neil Crompton, the UK ambassador in Ukraine.
Good morning, everybody. excuse me for speaking in English. It's a very exciting way to start the week. There's a lot happening in your country, a lot happening in Kyiv, sometimes too much. And for diplomats, we're always busy. We had a busy day in London yesterday, but an important one. But today it's very nice to be here, start this, say a few words about this exciting project. It's not my area of expertise, but I'm told if we get this project right, it could do for the labour market what Diia did for government services, which is really remarkable. I think it's even more important that you do this in a wartime economy. If we get it right, you can lower the barriers for entry into the labour market for those most affected by the war, internally displaced people, veterans, and others. Just want to say two or three things. More generally, this is a proper coalition effort involving many different players. On the UK side, one of our programs, the Spirit program, working with our friends in the World Bank, key partners in different Ukrainian ministries, and of course, as has been said, working with our other friends and other donors through the Partnership Fund for a Resilient Ukraine. The coalition is by design. It's not a detail. When we work together, we get more oomph for our money, more drive, and more buy-in from different people. And it's great that other members of the private sector are coming in to support the program. So I just conclude by saying this is not an IT project. This is about infrastructure. Today is a start. It's not the end. I say to the government people here, it's very important. In addition to trying to get take-up for the project, that we move forward with different bits of legislation and continuous government activity. But I hope that if I can come back in 10 years to visit you in a more peaceful time, we can say that this is one of the great successes we've done. So congratulations to everyone involved. Thank you.
Дякуємо. Thank you so much. Дякуємо, пане посол, за непохитну підтримку. Дякуємо. І продовжуючи тему міжнародного партнерства, хочу відзначити ще одного важливого союзника нашої країни – Фінляндія. Фінляндія послідовно підтримує нашу стійкість, розвиток і відновлення. Тому під ваші оплески запрошую до слова пані Тар'ю Фернандес, посла Фінляндської Республіки в Україні.
Good morning, everyone. I apologize also of not speaking in Ukrainian, as English is not my native language, so I stick a little bit to paper this morning. I also want to thank all the international partners, Ministry of Economy and private sector who is involved to this day's event. This is an important step in improving access to jobs and opportunities in Ukraine. As the current chair of Partnership for Resilient Ukraine, Finland is proud to support also this launch. Through this partnership, we work especially in frontline and border communities. In these areas, the impact of the war is felt every day. Here, resilience is about real practical things, keeping services running and helping people to manage their daily lives. This is why Obrii matters. Access to work is one of the most practical ways to support people. When people can find jobs, learn new skills, and receive support from the state, they gain stability, they gain dignity, and they gain hope. And they are better able to stay in their communities or return or rebuild their future in Ukraine, wherever they are located. Obrii is led by the government of Ukraine, and it is owned by the Ministry of Economy and connected the national systems like Diia, that it's a wonderful tool. It really means sustainable and practical tools for long term. PFRU is a partnership for bringing a platform for life in different sectors of society. It connects people, employers, public services into one simple system. The impact of this Obrii is quite large across the Ukraine, and it supports not only the frontline communities but Ukraine as a whole. And the expectations are quite high, and as my colleague also, I would think that after a few years we can really see the whole impact. This is just the beginning. Maybe to last, just to echo what the colleagues and friends and families in home in Finland, they ask about me. They say it's amazing the resilience of Ukrainian people, how they manage through this war. The images often in the media is about people looking for shelter, hiding from Russia's brutal war of aggression. But this Monday morning, looking all of you around this room, there is also a different face I would like to really transmit harder to my home country. That against all odds, you are all the time innovating something new. You are seeking for new opportunities, better life for you and your families. It's really great honor to be here today, and let's hope we're going to have a great day, and Obrii will be a great success to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Дякуємо.
And now I would like to give the floor for opening remarks to the Ministry of Economy, Environment and Agriculture, Alexei Sobolev. Hello to everyone. Welcome to this event. Dear business representatives, Your Excellencies, dear partners, I would like to thank everyone who is here, and first of all, I would like to thank the Ukrainian businesses. Despite the war, they continue to work, they continue to invest and create jobs and support Ukraine's economy. And that's what drives our resilience. At the same time, we clearly understand the challenges, the talent shortages, and probably that's the priority number 2 or number 1. The businesses reach out to us. 75% of Ukrainian companies are saying about the workforce shortages. At the same time, there are millions of people who can and want to work, but they are outside of the labor market and face different challenges. And that I'm talking about the youth without experience, veterans, elderly people, IDPs, people with disability, people who are returning from abroad. That's why we are building a new employment policy. It's aimed at making sure people have jobs, businesses have qualified staff, and the key goal is to make sure that we return people back into the labor market, that we return 4.5 million people into the labor market. These are people who are in Ukraine. They are our key asset, and we need everyone working and supporting our economy. We are working with the employers to expand opportunities for Ukrainians, for them to be able to change professions, to make a living and start from scratch and continue their work after 50 years. One of the key tools in our policy is going to be Obrii platform. It's a new digital labor market ecosystem. It will unite people, employers, educational opportunities, and state services in one ecosystem. First, we will launch 2 services, but the platform itself has much more to it. It's about digitalization of Ukraine's entire labor labor market. We will have a visibility of skill shortages, of needs in terms of reskilling and of the pathways how to bring people back. And that's what we are launching today. We are launching the grants for professional development, then remote offboarding for people who are, for example, in temporarily occupied areas. And we will have new opportunities, digital employment, smart job matching, and support for job seekers. I'm grateful to the Ministry of Economy, Ministry of Digital Transformation, who worked on these tools to ensure digitalization of the entire labor market. Our goal is to make sure people have jobs, employers have qualified staff, and the economy is restoring and is supported. It will benefit everyone. Thank you. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes.
So please don't go. We're going to see you quite soon in one of the panels. And while we're getting ready, it's important to say what is being done, the efforts to stabilize the situation, because our situation is unique, and I think that the whole world is watching Ukraine holding out in the battlefield, but also in the economic sense, and the labor market is not just about indicators, it's not about the statistics that we can analyze, but it's in the first place about people, and it's on their shoulders, on people who come back from the war, that are trying to recover their lives, and also the displaced people. These are millions of people who left Ukraine, and also our veterans who are going back to the civilian life after the years in the battlefield, and the labor market reacts to that, and the state leads its way here, and about the way the state reshuffles, remodels its labor market to fit the needs of people. That's what we're going to discuss during our first panel, which is titled "The Context of the Labor Market These Days." So our moderator is Alexei Duran, BRDO Executive Officer. And now the participants: Alexei Sobolev, the Minister for Economy, Environment and Agriculture of Ukraine; Alexander Bernyakov, temporary acting head of the Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine; and Tatiana Lomakina is the Specialized Commissioner of Ukraine for a barrier-free environment. And so here we go. Let's start. Alexei, I have a question. So we're now discussing labor market, and you're Minister of Economy. So why is the labor market today so important for the economy? Is it about the shortage of hands of people that we keep hearing from businesses? Is there an effect on economy in this sense? What I have just voiced in my speech is that, yes, it's a problem or challenge number one or number two. Yes, the shortage of hands of staff is even a higher priority than the aftermath of the war. Why it happened so? Because the economy got restructured. Many people left Ukraine. There are a lot of IDPs and people who left their communities in their host communities may experience a mismatch of their skills. And for example, some sectors have grown like 3 times, and now the technology sector, for example, or we need a big number of employees in different regions of Ukraine. And this mismatch between the demand and between what is available. So there is a gap, and it's not only a problem of big cities where there is the infrastructure and where people can get support, but there is a number of smaller cities and settlements in Ukraine where this support is not available. So the state can do a lot to make this labor market more transparent, to introduce some optimization. There are a lot of people who can work, they're able, but they need additional support. These are veterans, for example, people with disabilities, and as a state, we need to create the conditions to make this employment opportunities available for many. Thank you. Alexander, so we are in the year of 2026, the digitalization of labor market. I know that Diia has used and has digitalized a lot of sectors. Why have you decided now to turn your eye to keep the economy in the spotlight? Well, in the first place, because it's a great challenge for the state, but we need to offer people the opportunities for self-actualization. And I understand why people stay in the place where they were born, in their motherland, because there are some opportunities for self-actualization. So before I started working for the ministry in early 2010s, I was active in the advertising market. Even before Facebook started doing their video ads, we have already entered the market with our products. And when I just watched TV and when they just used ads non-stop for millions, for million large audiences, I thought, how are they metering that? How are they measuring the impact? For example, who are you targeting, and how do you measure the effect for females, for example, aged 20 to 30? Well, in fact, the analytics is possible, and you can target effectively your audience and perfectly well. And if you don't approach it strategically, how can you measure the value for money and the right effect from your efforts? In fact, we don't really know much about our clients, so-called clients. You're asking why now, but I would say it's a little bit too late. We're a little bit behind. We need to have started 3 years ago. And Obrii is a comprehensive project. And if we build a factory today, a business starts building a factory, stepping in the light industry sector, so somewhere in Poltava. So in 3 years, they need to be sure that they have the professionals and the professional clothes makers. And so as a state needs to have a bigger picture, to see the bigger picture. And then the local businesses, they will be aware through such ecosystem which professionals they have to order. They can plan in this way what kind of professionals they will need to have in 2-3 years' time. And what is now happening in the labor market is ineffective, quite ineffective. So we have some platforms, we have some level of digitalization in terms of job search, but in fact, in terms of digital tools, we're behind, and Obrii is a great initiative in this respect. So I think we have heard from both ministers about barrier-free access, about the self-actualization. I I think that it's great, this initiative, because the economy and the digitalization, they really are there to lower the barriers. So what are the barriers exactly? Tatiana Lamakina, the Special Commissioner for Presidential Commissioner for Barrier-Free Access. So, I have a different perspective on these things. And the first barrier we are looking at is the attitude barrier. So we need to look for professionals in the first place. These can be people with disabilities. These can be veterans. But in the first place, our focus is on professionals. And when we shift this focus, our attitude changes and our treatment changes to those who help from the state and the businesses that are interested and so on. And when it comes to a professional, we then our next step would be what we need to do for this professional to be productive, to be in line with the labor market demand or need. We studied the experience of the UK government, and what they did, they talked to businesses and they called upon them to, in their ads, just to show that their job postings have describe and depict that the job, for example, has flexible working hours, and they had a raise in applicants like by 20% among females. And so that's what we need, some approaches to really make it a two-way process. And another focus is on productivity. We have different levels of productivity, even in this audience here. If we spend a night in a shelter, of course, the next morning we're less productive. Our cognitive function is lower, then our movements are not that smooth, but we can recover, of course. And after traumas, after some health issues, so people suffer, of course, but it is subject to recovery. And we also need to factor in the measuring of how well the person has recovered. We need to give people this opportunity. As a state, we need to make another important step that is not possible without the digitalization. We need to develop an assessment model to measure the capacity of an individual and their match and their fit, if they're fit for a job. If I have broken my leg, so I can still carry on, working as a presidential commissioner and advisor, because my physical state does not impact what I can do. It was possible for me to fulfill my duties in full. But what if I was an individual who needed to work physically? Of course, most probably my productivity would have dropped. And these are the factors that we need to take into account. The opportunities, the capacities, the physical state, and by factoring this in, we can be more fine-tuned to what the professionals have to offer. And many professionals, they are ready to work, but they're on their guard as to how friendly are the employers to their special states and conditions in terms of working hours and so on. And so there are people who are willing to work and they are professionally fit, but they have certain main requirements for the workplace, and that what we need to factor in. And of course, there should be the system that needs to be able to measure that, and this is in the first place the State Employment Center, and we have factored in and learned from a lot of developed countries. Their experiences. The aim is to get millions of people on board. We are going to discuss the whole day today, the whole event today about the people and about their capacity. So what are the categories of people that are going to be covered? In the first place, these are the youth, young people that are ready to work, and for this we need flexible conditions. That's what we also thought when we introduced some changes in the labor code of Ukraine, so that it's possible to get more young people on board. Another category is the people aged over 50. So we have launched the program Experience Matters, and we have elicited thousands of applications within months. And if these are people from smaller settlements, and if there are people of working professions, they are faster to step in. But the system that we have does not, involve them to the full extent. But of course, we could do it better. And another category is IDPs, millions of people throughout Ukraine. There are lots of requirements, like, for example, for women with children that need to take care of children, or, for example, they do offline learning, and they need special attention so that they can continue full-time employment. So a barrier-free workplace needs to be ensured. Also, inside the country, we can see that a lot of Ukrainians of working specialties are available, and the labor market is has a quite fast pace in terms of changes, and these people need to undergo training. They need to be retrained, and there should be plenty of opportunities, local based opportunities where these people can be retrained. Also, another thing is about bringing back Ukrainians from abroad. In the first place, it's about security. The security situation impacts their decision, and we need to build the housing to ensure that the housing is there to bring people back. And we hope that throughout the coming years we'll have additional millions of hands in our labor market, and we hope to get 100,000 more jobs with the help of Obrii ecosystem. So, how can digitalization help find this, back up this reserve? I think that digitalization is the only tool, in fact, that can be of help, because I remember the situation that could be typical of the Soviet times. So when there should be some kind of orders for professionals that come from the state and that are standardized. I think what we should do is that we should just look at the volume of data, split it into chunks, and that's would be the foundation, the base for our analytical efforts. Like, for example, a business that decides to make an investment into some kind of process in agricultural initiative, and they need a lot of agricultural specialists or some other relevant professionals, and this business, they have to think through where their factory will be located. There may be like one of the local authorities officials just called in this business, just businessman to offer this location, the land where the factory could be built. Does the businessman fully understand, fully aware of what kind of plot of land it is? So one of the services that could be provided to a business would be through Obrii to provide the information on the available professionals living in the area. Going back to my experience with online advertising, maybe well, you have probably used the Google tools. Like, for example, you are a pizza house and you want to target people that are living within the 1 or 2 kilometers area from this pizza house, and that's what Google does. This is almost the same here. But on the digital platforms, in Google, it was available about 10 years ago. Is it available in the labor market? No, not quite. So after what Alexander has just said, it may seem that digitalization can solve a lot of more problems than we actually have. But we have different experiences. Just could you explain what works, what does not work, what can be scaled up with the help of digitalization, without digitalization? And my question to you is, what tools have worked well and need to be scaled up?
Їх потрібно далі розвивати.
Я хотіла, тут теж слухала і думаю, Боже, всі проблеми вирішені. Але це лише здається, дійсно, хочемо побудувати фабрику, робимо радіус і бачимо, що жодної людини, яка нам підходить, в цьому сегменті нема. І тоді питання, що робити. Мені здається, оце важливо також знати дані, від чого відштовхнутися, коли в тебе є розробка проєкту. Те, що ми зараз бачимо, це об'єктивно, внаслідок війни дуже багато людей мають саме фізичні порушення. Тобто їм складно рухатися містами, селами, селищами, дорогами, зупинковими комплексами і просто потрапляти і подорожувати в транспорті. Це жахлива ситуація. Але те, що ми вже робимо, це безбар'єрні маршрути. Це фізично доступні простори, де спілюються бордюри, розсуваються двері. І крок за кроком ми вирушили це спочатку з Міністерством розвитку громад і територій в перших 15 громадах, але ще 20 в цьому році доєднуються до цього. Тобто, якщо нам треба, щоб фізично людина прийшла на роботу, без того, щоб ми зробили той маршрут, вона не зможе цього зробити. Друге, якщо ми дивимося на фахівця з інвалідністю, на ветерана з інвалідністю, на молодь з інвалідністю, ми розуміємо, що серед всіх цих фахівців ми шукаємо тих, хто зможе працювати і відповідає компетенціям. Тому мені дуже подобаються платформи, які створює Мінцифра по онлайн-освіті, але і всі ці інструменти, які створюються зараз по адаптації просторів для навчання, центри професійно-технічної освіти, і це проєкт якраз Міністерства освіти і науки і Міністерства економіки. Чому це важливо? Ми порівнюємо людей, фахівців, що працюють, наприклад, в муніципалітеті Відня. Перед нами людина, він є фахівцем екселенс-центру, він пересувається на кріслі колісному, він є фахівцем. Я кажу, як ви стали фахівцем? Він каже, ну, я отримав нормальну освіту, я там з дитинства мав інвалідність, але наша система освіти дозволяла мені вчитися, розвиватися, і сьогодні я провідний фахівець муніципалітету Відня з дуже хорошою заробітною платою. Чи сьогодні дозволяє наша освітня система таку освітню траєкторію? Чесно? Ні. Чому? У нас все в бар'єрах. Тому зараз ми маємо пробудовувати безбар'єрність і в системі освіти також. І хочемо зрощувати, хочемо фахівців, а не просто, що зростає людина з інвалідністю, якою нам потім треба десь знайти місце на ринку праці. Ми маємо інвестувати в людей. І це по-чесному тоді буде, що ми вирощуємо з всіх дітей, які в школах, платників податків майбутніх. А для цього ми думаємо, як адаптувати школу, як адаптувати процеси навчання, центри професійної освіти, університети, і тоді на виході ми будемо мати результат. Це вдовгу, це не так швидко, як от ми побачили, що можна багато питань побачити. Але знов-таки для нас важливо бачити дані, щоб розуміти реальну ситуацію. І нам на цих даних, на чесних і відвертих даних, треба будувати систему. Тому ми дякуємо і за цю систему, яка нам дуже хорошо підсвітить, що нам відбувається на ринку праці.
Дякую. Ну, насправді це була модераторська пастка. Так. Треба робити і те, і те. Олександр в неї потрапив. Не знаю, чи Олексій потрапить в наступну. Ми чули про великий резерв і великий дефіцит кадрів. Економіка, там, ліберальна економічна політика. Чому цей розрив сам не вирішується?
Це дуже гарне питання, але мені здається, відповідь на багато таких питань зараз це війна. Тому що ринок праці не встигає, і ми дивимося, що оцей розрив в великих містах ринок закриває, тому що люди там знаходяться, можна перенавчання зробити, тобто загалом інфраструктури вистачає для того, щоб ринок праці лишався гнучким, і всі плюс-мінус знали, що і як. Тепер от невеликі містечки, міста і люди робітничих спеціальностей, там не вистачає, власне, даних. І нам здається, що якраз через те, що у державі ці дані є, вони знов-таки розпорошені по різних агенціях, от це останню милю ми маємо зараз цифровізувати і зрозуміти, з якими навичками, де особливо люди робітничих спеціальностей по Україні знаходяться. Чому бізнес туди не йде і не закриває цього? Тому що там територіально це занадто дорого виходить на одну вакансію, і знов-таки це от питання курка-яйце. Тобто бізнес каже, я буду там відкривати завод, а чи дає там робітники? Для того, щоб провести дослідження і зрозуміти, там є робітники чи ні, треба розуміти, чи буде там завод, чи десь поряд він будується. І таким чином виходить ситуація, що коли є люди, які могли б перенавчитися, або ми могли б створити їм якісь там додаткові умови, якщо це молодь, то там через менторство і легший вход в ринок праці, і вони існують в тій сфері, в тій місцині, але вони не знають, що там за 40 кілометрів від їхнього села може побудуватися новий завод. І от таким чином ми це вирівнюємо. І держава надасть дані, і ми впевнені, що бізнес для всіх людей, які проявляться із їх навичками, допоможе створити екосистему і їх точно забере на роботу. Тут ми повністю впевнені. І окремо держава має дати такий сід на перенавчання. Тобто, знов-таки, це колективні програми, де не будеш там навчати одну людину за іншу. Бізнес має там, можливо, об'єднуватися. Найпростіше об'єднуватися через податки, які бізнес і так платить. І оце держава. Тобто ми запускаємо, у нас є програми навчання, ми можемо їх більш якісно доводити до людей і чітко їм пояснювати, які навички їм потрібні для того, щоб знайти актуальну роботу, плюс роботу, яка буде в цій місцевості через 5 років. І от таким чином разом, нам здається, комплексно можна буде вирішити це питання.
Дякую. Олександре, хотів спитати, ми ж знаємо, що на Дії кожного місяця запускаються нові послуги. Ми чуємо від Олексія, в тому числі, про last mile, про те, що це складно. Ви теж говорите про це з Тетяною. Чому це не може бути просто 3 послуги на Дії? Там безробіття, грант, пошук роботи. Чи дійсно потрібен Обрій як така комплексна система, яка щось, по суті, з'єднує дуже багато всього різного під одною парасолькою? Чому цього вимагає ця проблема?
Дуже хороше питання. І
Well, it's a good question, and I did want to reflect on what Alexei was saying. When it comes to digitalization, it's not the outcome, it's a tool. It reduces, when it comes to the labor market, it reduces the distortion of the reality. Reality is distorted quite significantly. Different levels of information, and people believe that the single truth at the local level. People think they have stuff. People with disability, they think the government is not doing anything for them because they don't have work. The ministry thinks that the unemployment rate is low, that's why it's great. So we have these different realities that are that intervene, that are interrelated, and all of them, they think they have the right data. And what digitalization does is that it puts sources, everything out. It gives you the right understanding. It's a tool, and then you have to just use this. I mean, like weapon, you have to learn how to use the different tools. And when it comes to labor market, and when it comes to accessibility and barrier-free environment issue, the digitalization will give us an objective insights. Now, when it comes to Diia platform, last year, since the start of the year, we launched another 3 services on the Diia platform, and we continue to work on it. And when it comes to mass services, G2C type services, basically the end user, that's our target audience. But in the case of labor market, there is government, and there are different other actors like agencies, local government, and they are quite independent in our country. That's why Obrii, it's not just an app, not 3 services. It's a platform that will enable us to respond to the challenges faced by different groups. And that's the key. That's why we have this major product. It's just the beginning, as Alexei said. We are launching only the first part, and I want everyone to understand, because, I mean, my reality is also a little bit distorted. I know a lot about this project, and I know that it's going to develop and elaborate, and will launch its capacity probably in 2027. So it's not about 2, 3 buttons in Diia. It will be a powerful project. Thank you. Thank you, Alexander, Tatiana. My performance will be assessed in terms of how you present, and how are we going to assess the success of this reform? What should we see as the outcome that we are striving for? What should we measure on this Obrii dashboard? Well, you know, I'm listening to Alexei and Alexander, and I can see what is missing there. There is a need for guarantees in terms of mobility. Coming back to our example, I want to build a factory here. I need all the supplies and infrastructure in place. I have the logistical system, but I don't have people. And if we look at Norway, for example, they have grants for mobility for the youth and for the people with disability. If they don't find the profession around in the vicinity of their residence, they are supported in terms of moving to other region, because the government is interested in making sure people have jobs. That's why, in addition to the tools we have, I think we need to add mobility grants. Traditionally, Ukrainians are used to stick to their home communities, but now we have hundreds of thousands of IDPs, and now it doesn't really make a big difference where you live in Poltava or in Vinnytsia. You just need to pay the rent. That's why, for example, when I'm talking to mayors, I tell them create better conditions. There will be more people coming to you. As a result, you will have more businesses because you will have qualified workforce in your communities. That's why I think we just need to expand the system. Overall, I think it's great that we will have the visibility of the labor market needs. Because today, it's true, the businesses are saying there is a 30% shortage of talent, but there is no understanding in terms of what skills and what qualifications are needed, and it will be useful for the government to have it. Thank you. Now, what I suggest is to thank our participants. Thank you.
We can just make a caveat from the logic of reform to the people who are being trained to get new skills. And with us is Yulia Shevchak, is the Director of State Employment Service. Hello, everyone. Thank you. So I'd like to tell you briefly, and starting from the main thing that happened last week. In 2026, we, as a state employment service, started our international assessment of our performance, best bench learning. And we have 8 international experts, labor experts, and employees of top labor services. And about a month or a couple of weeks ago, we were at the part of the final round of this assessment. And you know, all my colleagues, they were so nervous. They felt as though they're passing an exam, like it was at school, because the analysis was quite minute, and all our programs were analyzed. And so the experts attended Dnipro and Lviv employment centers. And why I'm bringing this up? Because when we presented all our efforts and all the changes that we have been undergoing since 2022, February 2022, we kept saying that digitalization is one of the key instruments, and I am fully with the Minister of Transformation, with Mr. Bornyakov, that this is the key tool. And when we undergo this transformation till 2030, we'll get a lot of new things. So we are not just a place where we register the unemployed. We are the service that gives much more opportunities. We have so many applicants since February 2022, and so there is a high percentage of competitors, our competitors, that have lost their jobs and that are displaced. So we have an entry point offline where people can come and turn for services. And we are going to have an online entry point, namely Obrii, where you can register as an unemployed. You can apply for employment, pre-employment training grants, and also we will be able to analyze the labor market structurally. And we had a survey of employers, and we did that last year to see the context more clearly, to understand about the demand. So Obrii is going to be a platform that will help us digitalize all this whole process, and likely it's going to give us a quality approach to registering and to scanning the demand and the training needs. And I was told, you know, if we achieve success, you are going to be the first, you're going to be the pioneer, because no other countries in the world have this. You'll be at the forefront, because in other countries they don't have such an ecosystem. So, you know, we have we have launched a lot of great programs. In 2023, a barrier-free initiative. And what are these programs about? It's about a change in philosophy. We help our employers to make this workplace for a person with disability better, so make it more accessible. We didn't used to have such programs. Vlastna Sprava, let alone other programs. And Vlastna Sprava is a great tool we didn't have before. And I shared our experiences with our Polish colleagues. I shared with them how this procedure works. For Vlastna Sprava, they have the system of grants too, but their system works in a different way, where their system is not as fine-tuned and integrated with the real market demand and the banking platforms. So what we are striving for as a state institution, in the first place, we need to change the stereotypes that people come to us as a last resort, the labor market has changed, that's true, and many people seeking employment are females. But quite often, people who just want to change their life trajectory come to us. I travel a lot to smaller localities. You know, for people there, the State Employment Center is about the only place people can turn to for employment. We were approached by veterans, and our centers, they have been helping people who want to start their business or who want to remodel their business, and just there are state grants for that. We enlarge tracks to get more people on board. We have launched barrier-free programs. Vlastna Sprava is the main one, and our main purpose is to make it handy for a person, for a job seeker, to use the employment centers programs. So, who is our customer? Is a middle-aged person. It's not. If you think that these are people aged over 50, that's not so. These are the people aged 40, 45, and you know, Obrii should be the system that needs to really catch our young people's interest, because our young people, they don't want to waste their time traveling to an office location. They want to get online, do their work, and just continue with their lives somewhere elsewhere. And I'm very thankful to the team of the Ministry of Economy and the team of the Ministry of the Digital Transformation, our team and all the stakeholders who have contributed to developing the Obrii portal, because it's going to be a system for analyzing the labor market and working with the clients that is going to be the only one in the world of that sort. And we will have the experience of how to analyze labor market and how to modernize the work of the labor centers and make them accessible and barrier-free. Thank you, Julia. Diia Marchuk, Deputy Minister for Economy, Environment and Agriculture. Hello, dear colleagues. I'm very happy to see everyone, and I'm happy about the fact that this event is actually taking place. I have been working on this since I was appointed to the Ministry of Economy. Alexander Tsibort has been working much longer on this, and the purpose is to create a unified digital framework for the labor market in Ukraine. And Mr. Sobolev has explained generally about the framework, and Alexander Tsibort will give you the details of what Obrii is. And I would like to give you a brief insight into why we need this digital ecosystem and how Obrii is a necessary part of the labor market logic. I will start with some data, which I think will not be new. Something new to you. So I'll start with the statistics. Here it is. So 31 million is the number of people living in the government-controlled areas. 10.5 million people who are paying the income tax, and 8 million are hired professionals. 8.5 million, and we can see that we have a lot of people beyond the labor market. These are young people, these are pensioners, these are people who have some health conditions, and we can see from the data that quite a big number of pensioners are still employed, and this is a significant number of citizens who are not participating in the labor market, but we would like to enable them with an opportunity to carry on with their employment. And what challenge we would like to address in terms of digitalizing the labor market? So how do we do so that a person willing to work, a Ukrainian willing to work, can be employed, and an employer can cover their need very fast, and then we would have a win-win arrangement so that our businesses can function successfully and the people are employed. So we have a huge reserve in terms of labor market in the internal market, and these are, I'm talking about 4.5 million people, and most of them we can get on board within the coming years. At least 2 people, that's our goal, could be taken on board until 2030. And these are the people that we meet every day. So IDPs, females that take care of their children, or that are taking care of their relatives with disability, or the females that have spent years taking care of their child, and now child is in the preschool, and the skills have lost their relevance. So these are, I'm speaking about people 40, 45, 50, 55. I can see several solutions for comprehensive reform. This is the first set of measures how to bring people back to the labor market, and it's about assessment of skills and on lowering the stereotypes about entering the labor market. Next is a system of retraining, very specific, very targeted, and for a specific job. And if an individual wants to set up a business, the system would help build up their skills as a businessman or woman. So next is a system that helps lower or address the barriers that people have. And one of these was touched by the minister at the previous panel. We have launched this program several months ago, and it has yielded in very good results. It's for people, for example, who are aged over 50 and who have lost hope about being relevant in the labor market. And the effort is for these people just to receive some training on how to put together a CV, or how to be interviewed, or how to be well trained to face to face competition, and how to be an effective job seeker. And we would like to have a targeted program exactly for each age group, addressing the barriers of each group specifically. So next is the reinforcing the cross-sectoral coordination and cooperation, so that the individuals, the job seekers, could use the appropriate services as a one-stop shop. Another big segment is to work through the efforts available in the labor market and assess the labor market, to understand what are the gaps, and to do some strategic planning for years ahead, to see about trends, about tendencies, about potential deficits and profits, where it would be clear that you shouldn't you shouldn't make a career choice in favor of certain academic training, because you will not be able to find a job years after. And what we have been working together with that's what we have been working together with our colleagues from the education, the Minister of Education. So we have a large space to make the system of payment more transparent. So in the first place, this is about the reform to align the system of payment with the European standards. This is about acknowledging the qualification, for example, of those people who are working abroad, and to make it easier for them to readapt to the labor market in Ukraine, modernizing the state employment service, as Julia has said, and also modernizing the other relevant employment centers. So we can do this as separate projects, but in fact, the logic that would help us make bigger steps in terms of reforms is the unified digital ecosystem. The more data we have, the more digital analytics we have on the gaps in the market, on the vacancies that are available in each of the regions. As policymakers, as labor market participants, for all it will be easier. It will be easier to find the way forward. It will make our path smoother and clearer. So it will be handy both for the employer and the job seeker and the state. This should be the system that should help an employee to find their place in the labor market, on the gap in the skills, on the opportunities for retraining and upskilling, to decide about the regions where the skills that I have should be the best fit. And for the future, it should be a system that could help us have a unified system of case management, integrating the demands of different sectors. So Obrii, to us, is a single place where, with an end-to-end end-to-end service for employees and employers. So we are very happy to have this official launch, and I hope that Alexander Zibert will make you fall in love with this system the same as we love it.
Thank you. Thank you. And now you talked about Obrii, building Obrii, and reform it materializes when we have specific tools to use that enables people to find a job, to get retrained, or see new opportunities. And this tool is what Obrii should become. How it works and what it offers people and employers and the government. Alexander Zibert is going to talk about that, Deputy Minister of Economy, Agriculture and Environment for Digital Transformation. Alexander, but before you join us at the stage, what I suggest is to have a look at the video that will be a part of national advertising campaign for Obrii.
Обрій, з вами на кар'єрному шляху.
Чого дома сидіти? Ще стільки всього попереду.
Шляху, який все ще триває, чи який ви починаєте спочатку?
А може, якщо є можливість, чому б не скористатись?
Шляху, який лякає, хоч ви й не злякливих.
Та й не з таким розбиралися.
І на шляху, який тільки починається.
І що далі? Нові можливості.
Обрій. Можливості перед тобою.
Hello to everyone. Happy to see everyone here. And finally, we are launching Obrii. We are going into beta testing. And basically, it's not another openings platform. It's a new ecosystem that is being created in Ukraine for the labor market that is human-centered, not red tape-centered. It's for people, and we know that today there is around 30,000 people that are outside of the labor market. It's a huge challenge for Obrii, and what we are doing and what Obrii is designed to do is to bring these people back as soon as possible into the labor market, into the economy, not through queues, not through paper-based processes, but through comfortable processes including offline, through comfortable services that people are using, together with the local government, for example, and through comfortable tools, digital tools, AI matching, career path, virtual money, and everything around the labor market. What we're going to show today is a massive challenge of our project. It's what we are going to show, what we are going to start with the first module. As my colleagues said, it will be grants for reskilling and offboarding for TOTs. We will start testing. At the end, you will see a QR code to get registered and join the first wave. The product will launch in early July, and then it will be scaled up. As we have said, the plan is to scale up the key modules until 2027. And today, I would like to present Obrii to you in a storytelling format that we prepared. And I would like to tell you about a family, one family that has three stories, how Obrii worked for them, not for millions of people. Let's get to know Inna is 42. She was a heartbeat of her family. She was financial kind of breadwinner, one of the breadwinners for this family. Her husband, Andrei, he's 45. He's an experienced electrician. For 3 years, he is on the front line. And Marta, their daughter, she's finishing her university study. She's getting ready for adult life and building career path. Everything started with an unpleasant news. Inna was laid off. When the family was preparing for the return of Andrei from the front line and for Marta's graduation, Inna got this sad news. The company laid off employees. Inna is 42 and she feels that she's losing ground under her feet. And she is losing everything she worked for throughout her life. In her head, she started to assess what can I do apart of papers, what are my skills. And there is fear that the labor market looks for youth, for talented people, and myself, I will not be able to find a new job, to find a new dream. And basically, that's what she reached out to with. She called to the State Employment Service hotline. And she listened to this message. You are, hello, your message is important, but she didn't have to wait. The AI agent get her registered automatically without any papers and explained the new steps for her. And basically, that was the first time when Inna heard about Obrii, about this digital labor market ecosystem. Then things got interested. When it comes to Obrii, the first thing you see is that the system doesn't ask you who do you work, what did you do before, what positions you are looking for. What the system asks you is what skills and qualifications you have from your previous work experience, and suggests that you do a career guidance test. And what Obrii saw was that Inna is stress resilient. She knows how to manage projects, and she has great empathy. Then AI matching worked. It showed profiles and openings that are accessible to Inna. She didn't thought about because it was based on the skills that she explained. And these openings, they were in the social sector. And that's basically where the government is looking for specialists. Lastly, after INA selected this sector, the Obrii platform designed the career path and the next steps. And based on predictions, it was clearly seen that the social workers is the next target for the government, for the country, that it's going to be in demand, and it is in demand because they are needed for the country's recovery. And then Ina got calmer. She calmed down because she realized that she has some certainty in terms of her future. Yeah, it's like that's basically what I wanted to convey to you through this storytelling format. Ina decides she's going to be a social worker. Before, she would be looking for training courses for weeks, courses she needs to take to get the certificates. She would have to spend money, but this time Obrii did everything for her. She received a grant of 15,000 hryvnias for her reskilling. It covered the entire training course for her. Virtual money was activated for her. And it's important to note that this profession is in demand for the government. That's why this grant was provided to Ina without any queues, without any papers. Obrii did everything online. And how it works, we will be able to see it on our video. So you can see that you can use a Diia platform to get registered. There will be separate section Obrii, and with time it will develop into more expanded infrastructure. So on the screen you can see that you will need to wait for the data to be checked. And while we are watching, when it comes to figures, there is a lot of re-engineering under the hood. And the processes that are there, they are redesigned to make sure that they fit the digital ecosystem. There has been a lot of regulatory work with the Ministry of Policy. You can see that the users will have access to courses. They will be expanded. We will have also a separate section for informal education, and it will be possible to use these grants for retraining. There is a filter feature, and of course, the platform will offer the best opportunities. Like for Ina, the user will have targeted proposals from the system. Certificates will also be available that the users would be able to use. The entire process in terms of reskilling or upskilling, it all goes online, and payments, for example, if it's not a grant, you can pay as well online all the services. Okay. I think that we can move on. And I was talking about grants, and we started with grants because we realized that reskilling and upskilling are things that what the labor market needs. That's why we actively worked on that. Now, moving on with our story. What's important is that for Inna, she received mentorship support in Obrii. There was a dedicated specialist to support her, to help her navigate in terms of new profession choice. And this advisor provided practical recommendations for Inna to understand how it's going to work for her. In 3 months after she received her certificate, Inna saw her new Obrii profile. The AI matching offered a vacancy at Veteran Hub with a higher salary. Now, let's come back to Andriy. He's an experienced electrician who has returned, who was demobilized from the front line, and he wanted to be useful in the same area, but with better prospects. He was inside. He was getting ready for all these difficulties of going through interviews, telling his story many times, and spending time that he could have spent on country's recovery. But it didn't work like that. When Andriy called to the hotline, the social career advisor processed his request and supported Andriy throughout the way. Andriy didn't need to, again, bring papers to tell his story and prove different skills and achievements. Everything worked online for him. That's what case management did. And his previous experience, his needs, everything was processed automatically through the integration. In Obrii's directory, Andriy saw a training course that was offered, the electrical engineer for electrical power plant maintenance. The government covered this training via virtual money. Now, in that case, the money is not limited. There is no limit of 15,000 hryvnias because Andriy is a veteran. After the course, Obrii selected the relevant job opportunities in the renewable sector. Basically, Inna and Andriy, they found their new jobs, and Marta, their daughter, was just on the start of her career. And in case of Marta, Obrii takes proactive steps to prevent unemployment from the school. Thanks to the integration with the Mria platform, the system did the profiling of Marta based on her achievements and interests and talents and interests. On top of that, the predictions for the market trends was used, and there was a clear prediction that there will be a need in terms of specialists for the recovery. And based on that, the system offered her the university that would match her interests. After the graduation, she found apprenticeship in a construction company. And before, she had preparations. She went through certain training. During the university years, she showed that she has certain preparations and qualifications. That's why she was successful. Marta's profile was put onto the Diia platform. It was made accessible to the employers, and the employers saw a skilled worker with confirmed and demonstrated qualifications. As a result, Marta got a real job opportunity. She graduated her university at 22 years. She was not afraid of the crisis that affects many young specialists. Basically, after graduation, she received apprenticeship even before her graduation, and this is how the system enabled her to improve her CVs, to present herself and her skills to the employers. And even before the actual graduation, she was registered and received offer for a junior architect, and the government was informed about another successful employment. Now, Marta joined her first workplace without any red tape, without any bureaucracy. And basically, the crisis started with Ina's layoff, turned out to be a success for the entire family. Ina is working as a social worker, Andriy found a new job in the energy sector, and Marta is building her career with certainty. The Obrii platform helped an entire family. And essentially, what Obrii does is the system supports and helps the people, the users, throughout all their way. Ina is getting offers in terms of new certifications, new training courses for Andriy, for upskilling, and for Marta, the system offers new next career opportunities. That's why what Obrii has is not just data. It's basically a system that facilitates government-invested, targeted investments that deliver realistic results and help the country recovery. I would like to share this QR code with you that you can scan and get registered for beta testing, and you'll be informed about the results. The testing will be in waves throughout June, or you can wait until the full-fledged product is available in July. So, to sum it up, I would like to say that basically Obrii is about the start of labor market transformation. Me and my team, we are rebuilding, re-engineering this system, and we are digitalizing it to make it comfortable to use without any queues and waiting times, without papers. And importantly, this system should be responsive to the market. What it offers to the businesses, first of all, skilled workers, the understanding and visibility of the needs. We train people specifically to target the future needs. People get relevant offers. They get trained in professions that will be in demand today and tomorrow. Basically, it's about prediction of the labor market. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. So, Obrii in action, you said, and I really was with the whole of my heart with the family that you described, and as an idea that takes really an accessible path for this transformation. And actually, it's about paths to career, to support, to training. And what is important, it's just the beginning. So we will now have a short coffee break, a 20-minute break, and our interactive locations are going to work. So this is an easy and unexpected way to carry on discussions about professional paths. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, just let's cheer each other with a round of applause and get down to our second part of the event that we called Obrii in Action Paths for Everyone. So, and we, of course, now realize that Obrii does not mean a single path for everyone. Obrii gives different paths to different people and supporting those who are also returning to the civilian life, to veterans, to young people, to businesses, and we are going to walk through several paths like that to see, for example, how the youth can work to meet the market needs. So Forbes Ukraine editor Dmytro Davydenko is going to moderate this panel. So Boris Davydenko, and we will greet our panelists. And on the first steps on the professional path, Valery Dobrovolsky will explain about that, Maxim Gontar and Lilia Mahler. So please join us on our stage, and then we'll also discuss about how the state can be proactive, leading the way, and for individuals that really need support. And we invite here Ivona Kostina, Uliana Pcholkina, and Hanna Bashlak. So we have almost everyone here. So please greet Uliana. Thanks for joining us. I think that we can get down to business right now. So we have heard a lot about the ecosystem, about the platform, about the state approach, and in this panel, I'd like to talk about people, how it will be, how different needs will be addressed, and if Obrii is going to make it easier for them. So what has been done in the beta version, and two services, the grant for training, and also the opportunities for TOT located businesses. Valery, they say that this wouldn't be possible without you. You are about the first project that decided to support this. Thank you, Boris. It's not that it wouldn't have been possible without us, without many people. So for our team, for BRDO, and for the Ministry of Economy, it wouldn't have been possible without all of them. And we were offered this new opportunity, and we realized that it would be a comprehensive, cross-cutting path to economic recovery, and we're the country supported by Great Britain, Canada, Estonia, Finland, Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, and we are one of the 8. We work along 8 strands, and our main priority is to work to strengthen Hromada resilience. And when I heard, of what Obrii is going to do, I realized that Obrii is a wider tool than just employment support. We focus on 10 frontline oblasts, and the challenges with the power supply, with the logistics, with risks, security risks, and the availability of goods and services are more complicated than in rare areas of Ukraine. And in terms of Obrii, it's about integration in the labor market. So in terms of frontline communities, this is a factor that being a frontline community impacts everything about how the communities function there. So we would like to support Gramadas to be more resilient, which is highly important for frontline Gramadas. Another factor is the internally displaced people, and they are about 15 to 20% of the population of some of the Hromadas. In some regions, like in Dnipro, the Dnipro has hosted most of IDPs, and of course the integration of IDPs in the societies, in local communities, is the direct way to stronger communities. And is it possible to offer them fast solutions? Well, not always is it easy, but we are supporting Obrii because it will be possible through Obrii to make it easier for them. Our next priority is supporting cohesion and cohesive mechanisms. And Obrii is working for the groups that need additional support, like people with disabilities, the youth, older people, females, for example, they get in Ukraine, they are less involved in the labor market than in OECD countries. And if Obrii gives, if it's easy, is it easy to offer them easy solutions? With Obrii, we hope it will be possible. So with the grants available and employment opportunities, now they are not really user-centered, but rather dispersed. With Obrii, it's going to be different. You're going to be part of the ecosystem to be a voice, a worthy voice in the community. I'd like to clarify here. You've said that it's not the first program. It's not these are not the first grant initiatives, and donors have supported a number of those. To you, what is going to be a criterion for success, for impact in 3 to 5 years term? Well, the criteria of applicability on the product side, and on the user side, the number of products that are in use, and how frequently they are used, whether we are trained, whether we are retrained, whether it's ongoing. So it's going to be difficult because the state is going to be in competition with other digital programs that are already available. We are providing support, significant support, but we know that there will be other donor programs that will come to support such initiatives or this particular initiative with some technical solutions. For example, we in our mandate have found a lot of components why Obrii is something that we should support. So if you are going to come after us to join this, it means that we have done the right venture investment. Well, Maxim, you have supported Obrii. Could you give us a range of what would be the standing of this proposal if it was on the commercial grounds? Oh, I don't really think I should be do this type of calculations. You know, what we do in the business sector, we don't really look at the costs and expenditures. We're talking about investment. So if you are not getting anything back, you're not investing further. So to us, it's not about expenditures. It's about a socially useful decision. But when it's going to turn into an investment, when we are going to get the returns in the form of qualified cadre. So when we hire a person, we spend 300 to 1,000 euros to train them to be fit for the modern market. As for example, AI tools, the knowledge as it is not of the same value as it was 3 to 5 years ago. I'm not speaking of doctors now. Now speaking of digital services. If a person is able to use an AI well, they certainly have a certain experience and should build up this experience. But what matters to us is the motivation. So then we don't need to test them for how motivated they are. So next step is we need to assess how much this expert will cost, how big is their value. So the state will have paid already for their training. So this won't be a part of our assessment. This is something about building up the cadre through your own ways, and you're saying that the state is going to take this on. Does the state really need that to work for the IT sector? No, I think that it's going to be useful, and I would like to express my thanks to the ministries that initiated this, because if they offer an innovation, they take on a great challenge, because they need to introduce a lot of things that are new and digital, because this technical part is even more challenging than the bureaucratic one. And so the vocational learning system gives us qualified professionals. But if it doesn't, if we don't get a trained professional, we will have to train them ourselves, paying our money. But if the state takes this on, it is a very useful thing for us. Maybe it will not work in a year's time, but maybe in 10 years' time, I would like to see this matter resolved for my company and for most of other players in this sector. Okay, I hope we now can speak of why you decided to be the first to come out with these services. I'd like to cover what we would like to change in the first place. We don't want people to be scared when they step into this path of job search. We would like to make this process easy and smooth for them, because, in fact, it would be possible because the state would take on a lot of work on many of the steps in this process, and it would be great if this process is made transparent, so that it works not on wild guesses, but it's data-driven. And we're planning a forecast of the labor market and where we'll see what is going to await us in the 10 years' time. And this is the logic behind our two services, the professional development grants, addressing your question. So when we were in the middle of our survey, we saw that the problem was in the structured unemployment. This is about a huge gap between the skills that are required and the skills that are available. So to bridge this gap, we have a list of professions that our state needs, and these are the professions that we issue grants for. That's how we try to close this gap and to feed the professionals that the employer needs. So we also realized that another barrier to cover this pathway, if a person is employed in the temporary occupied territory, which is out of reach, they cannot resign from there, or maybe their company is no longer, does not exist any longer. So we decided to introduce this electronic resignation as one of the first services. When will it be available, in fact, for everyone? Well, those who are employed in the TOT and those who want to resign, it will be possible for them to resign electronically this July. So in June, we're going to launch the beta testing. So in terms of logic behind these two services, I will explain now, but in fact, this is just a start. All the data are automatically fed into the system. The individual does not have to really enter any big volumes of data. It's just done in a couple of clicks. So what is your expected turnaround, or how many people you think are going to use this? So if 10 million Ukrainians are going to turn to apply for this service, you won't have this billions of money to cover in grants. Well, we have the statistics on the resignations, and we know that 2,000 people already applied, and it is available still in the paper format. You can come to an employment center and apply. So we digitalized these applications, and the decision is taken automatically. Okay, so if I want to be retrained, so what is my path then? To apply for a grant, to apply for a certain specialty? Well, we have analyzed this, but this is going to be available as part of the next iteration. This will be AI-based. So we know about the individual, we know about their past experience, about their skills, and about what they want, and that will be the foundation for the AI matching work. Okay, now I see what we're getting to. So an AI is going to deprive me of my job, and they will offer me a job as a plumber. So now, in my view, we're going to have one of the most important aspects of this conversation, how the state is going to support people who are outside the labor market, how the state is going to support their return. And again, it's not just about the veterans, it's not only about the people with disability. So even to, I remember the statistics, it was 12.5 million. Probably we can we're speaking about 2.5 million of people that are vulnerable, and like veterans, we are studying this topic, and we are systematizing into a list companies that offer employment opportunities for veterans. I'd like to know more about them. But what now works badly in terms of veteran reintegration?
Can you hear me well? Okay, great. Look, what I would like to start with is that no one wakes up and thinks, I'm a veteran, I'm a person with disability, I'm an IDP. In the morning, if they need to make living, they think about jobs they can use, and that's why all these filter features, they enable our users to quickly find information they need. That's what I'm hearing a lot from in my field of work. If I have, for example, if I am a veteran, an IDP, and a mother of a small child, when I'm looking for a job, I have different filters to use. That's why what I'm worried about when it comes to the government communications, the government support, I need to. What we need to do is to categorize this person to make sure that we can offer the best offers that are available. And what we need is to make sure that we bring as many people as we can into the labor market. And for me, Obrii is about automating many services, many things that people can get automatically without any additional efforts. When it comes to veterans and other vulnerable groups, what we see is that at some point they need to understand where they are. They need to have some person to support them and advise. That's why, while automating, we need to make sure that we still keep the human in the equation. And the government and service providers, they are better off would be better off from this. You cannot utilize the employment process completely only with the digital tools. And basically what I'm saying is that now there are a lot of products designed for these groups. The Ministry of Veterans launched different opportunities, and you have to keep in mind that that people got used to different products. That's why we have to follow up with the relevant communications. People need to know where they can find their jobs, for example, Obrii Platforma or WorkQA. And our groups, usually they don't have many barriers in terms of accessing the labor market. And I'm not sure that the other more vulnerable groups are really factored in as part of this platform. I'm talking about people aged 60 plus, people with different disabilities and veterans. Right now, there are no relevant regulatory tools from the government to support their employment. As a result, they are facing different barriers around that. Of course, there are challenges for the employers as well. There are groups of veterans who have never searched for their jobs. They joined the army at 17. They have never had their first job, and it will be their first experience. That's why we need to make sure that this tool is adjusted and centered on our target audience. Veterans, first-time job applicants, people who went through captivity. Quite often they don't have, as I've said, any professional experience, and we need to make sure that their reintegration would be as successful as possible. What I suggest is that we move on from these categories and groups and focus on processes, on supporting different gaps in terms of skills and qualifications and experience, and make sure that the system is as flexible as possible. Okay, and what do you think these cases, these outliers, like people looking for their first job after serving in the military, can Obrii support them? Yes, I believe it does. It can support them, but it's a different lens that we need to apply at early stages. All these groups, we need to make sure they are able to get back and get reintegrated into the market. Right now, veterans aged 60 plus, they don't have access to this market, partly due to the regulatory constraints. The grants are not provided to these people. Do these people need jobs? Of course, and we need to make sure that our products are adjusted and aligned with all these needs. I think that there is a huge challenge around the targets and objectives we set for these products. Sometimes we don't have knowledge how we can use certain skills at specific workplace. What is going to be the cost for employing this person, a person that with a unconventional work experience? That's why we need to make sure that we automate and support all these people. And when I'm talking about veterans, you are listening carefully, but if I'm take the veterans out of the equation and we'll be talking about people with disability who had this disability from their childhood, you will be less attentive to me. Do we need people who have never had their first job? Of course, we need to engage them. But to do so, we need to be more flexible. And their example will also support us in terms of getting other people reintegrated in the labor market. Just to clarify my question, what is the good practice? What is the good practice for reintegrating veterans? And you said that we should use and find best use cases and scaling. We need to scale them up, right? Yes, and also we need to get the strategy aligned with the reforms that we are implementing at the governmental level. We are changing our approaches to people with disabilities, and digital tools, they can address certain issues, but there are other issues that are within the regulation system, and we need to review that, we need to adjust appropriately. Thank you, Ilona. Uliana. Maybe my question is going to be stupid, but what we are saying is that digital tools, they should improve and reduce barriers in the labor market for people with disability. How can we use this digital tool to address these barrier-free issues? Can you explain it? Can you break it down to us? Well, thank you for this question. And just to give you a little bit of a background, I had a brain and cervical injury in early 2000s, and at that time there was no access to the digital products. My first attempt to make living and be be able to rely on my own was a clickbait website, and I tried to do something. My next job was some employer offered me to be that soul, basically, to give them my employment records and get paid for a little bit. I offered them that I want to do something, and we decided to find a way for me also do something. In those years, it was really difficult to find a way to find a job for people with disabilities. Of course, the challenges are huge even now, but back then the challenges were much higher. And I worked with this employer for a while in the marketing department. Basically, we found a way to meet the kind of to be able to have productive employment relations. Of course, after the internet emerged, it gave a lot of different opportunities for people, different skills and employment opportunities. There was time where all people with disability were invited to IT, and you, as an IT guy, you know that, right? Now the new buzzword is data analyst, but I'm going to die if I'm working continuously for several hours with computer. But for many people it works. They can sustain themselves. They can get reskilled. That's the good news. When it comes to the bad news, Obrii is a great product. It's accessible to me. I can do many things here. That's great. But as I've said, I have never had basically at a formal job. I'm just using my cognitive abilities. I'm now advising on accessibility issues at Superhumans Foundation. That's my formal job. And of course, my own experience as a person with disability, that's also what I'm using. When it comes to Obrii, what I see is that the verification is going through Diia. I can access Diia. It's a great product. But if we look at people without that are unable to see, that are blind, they are not able these products. They have no access to this advanced technology. Ukrainians are in the top rankings across the globe, but still that's the case. Ukrzaliznytsia Railways, they were the first business that issued and released a great product for blind people. But again, verification process through Diia, it doesn't work for blind people. And my expertise today is becoming toxic. I'm basically a spoiler to many people who are enjoying the success. I'm telling them that it's not actually that great. So what I'm saying is that there are people with different issues, different disorders, and the combat-related injuries, they are also changing. The injuries before, in the past, it was the injuries were about the limbs. Now people get blind, people lose hearing, lose upper limbs. What we are going to do about that on the labor market? The Ministry of Social Policy said that there is a huge talent shortage on the labor market, and we need to find a way to get all these people that are outside of the labor market back into the economy. because we are losing the economic potential of our country. And I'm paying taxes as everyone does. Uliana, I would like to ask you about the accessibility. Of course, this issue will also be discussed later on during the next sessions. But what I would like to ask you, what do you consider a success? How this product can support different groups of people for you personally? For me, I will say that it does work when most of my friends are able to get employed via Obrii. Right now, I'm moving on to closer to my 50s, and it means that the labor market will say goodbye to me. We are still working within this glass ceiling. You cannot deny that these limitations exist in Ukraine. On top of that, you have this disability. You are basically affected by all these stereotypes, and it makes it harder to find the right job for you. But despite of all, people with low disability, it's difficult for them to work 9 to 5 because of the transportation, poor transportation. We have done a lot about that. We have changed many things, but it's not enough for me to be able to feel free. I have to do 4 times the effort to get through the transportation system to my office, to fight with different barriers in my office. It makes much more difficult for me to compete on the labor market. That's why I do hope that labor will bring together all the things, all the opportunities we have in terms of employment, all the reskilling opportunities. I mean, if yesterday I did some physical labor and tomorrow I will, do you expect me to go to the some white collar job? Well, it does happen, but that's not the case. So I hope that these people will find jobs and be able to sustain themselves. It's great when the government supports you, but the government cannot provide people with the adequate support for them to not need the additional earnings. I've been a person with disability for 19 years, and I am getting 4,700 hryvnias. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's why we have to enable people to make their living. Thank you for your critical remarks and for your activities. And now I would like to ask Hanna. We have discussed critical issues and gaps in Diia. Of course, I understand you are not the Diia designer, but if you know, if you can comment on that, and after that we will move on how it works.
Hello, thank you. Yes, Obrii is built the way that either we work through the mobile application or the portal, and the Ministry for Digital Transformation takes the lead. But under the Ministry of Digitalization, there is an office for barrier-free environment. They work to improve their products. They work with all the requests and for example, such problems as visibility restrictions are solved through higher contrast or different font types, and I think that these are the people who are going to be doing a lot of work on a barrier-free environment and tools, and we're ready to take on more of such questions. In terms of the proactive approach module, let's take I'm a mother that has taken care of a child for 6 years, and now whether willing or not, whether I want to go back to the market or no, what are the steps that Obrii is going to take to get me on board. So there is a short presentation about the proactive approach module, but I'd like to explain in a few words. So what is a proactive approach? It's a new tool for the labor employment policy that was introduced in late 2025, and it's now even in the regulations, but we're going to moderate it through Obrii, through digital tools, so that it's available to more people, so that we cover so that we have a more expansive reach. So proactive approach is a wider notion than just a mother after her maternity leave. So one of the categories are the potentially economically active population. You know, the statistics that we get about this category is from 2024. And today, during the panel with the state representatives, they voiced the statistics of 18 million of economically active population. And the high share is pensioners. And we have to work with all these categories, especially the pensioners, to get on board as many people as possible from the economically inactive population, 2 million until 2030, that was the aim, and even more until 2035. So this is an approach that I'll try to explain about the proactive approach, namely. So this is when the state comes first to a job seeker or to an individual. So this is about integration with other registries to see, to detect whether the person is employed or no, if they are an active individual entrepreneur, and by looking at their background, the system can offer some options, and the individual can either accept or turn down these options, and what is going to be offered. Targeted support. As Obrii progresses, the system will see a female on her maternity leave, or a veteran, or an IDP. So different statuses available in the system will inform the offers from the system, the options, and we have a lot of employment programs. But people are not informed. They're oblivious to these programs, but Obrii will feed the options to different individuals by category. What we've heard today, that after you have turned 60, it's really difficult to go back to the professional labor market. And the grants that have been mentioned today are available to individuals aged 18 to 70. And also now the state program Experience Matters is now in the launch stage. But accumulating different services and feeding this information to individuals by their category, we think that this makes this state help more visible, and people can study this information to accept it or to turn it down. So in the digital scale, as it has been said today, it's difficult to address some specific cases. Of course, Obrii is not going to replace something that is offered by the state employment service. It is a digital tool that the state employment service is going to be offering. Of course, these services are going to be available both offline and online. So as we get down to case management, so following the proactive approach module, we see in our plans to build up several independent systems as part of the Ministry of Social Policy, the Ministry for Veterans Affairs, and it's important that social workers and the specialists to support veterans are able, by identifying the need in the employment need, are able to coordinate with the relevant advisors, career advisors, and it would be great to make this process automatic. This will simplify the career path for a job seeker. And the final slide here in this deck on proactive approach, that the state takes the lead or makes the first step, and this proactive approach will be our next module that will speak for this. So this is a QR code for you to try and register for beta testing of our first services. So just go ahead, apply for these opportunities, and the state will support you and walk alongside, so to say. So thank you, dear participants. We have discussed on how soon the Obrii is coming, on what a proactive approach is. In the next chunk of this discussion, we are going to speak about those who are not returning, but who are striding past maybe this 20% of the population. So thank you. I'm ready. So let's thank to some of our panelists for being part of the first part of this discussion. Now we're going to discuss Obrii Youth and the first professional experience in choosing career path. And we're inviting here Katerina Osacha and Yarina Bila. And our next path, the employment without paperwork. And we will hear from Anastasia Gromova and Hanna Bashlak will be part of this further discussion. So a gender imbalanced panel a little bit. So you're going to be here the only male. So how the graduates make their first steps into the labor market, into career choices. So, Katerina, we have been following you and watching your show about the life of wealthy people. But now I think that it will be interesting for us to hear from you on what prevents such a highly educated nation. About 70 or 80% of Ukrainians decide in favor of getting the higher educational academic training. So, what stands in the way of finding employment? Please, with a round of applause, let's greet a big team of professionals who have made Obrii possible. So, a year ago, we got to meet the Alexander's team. That's where we heard Obrii, the service that is going to come into life, and this was known to a limited circle of people. And I asked then, where is the place for youth in all this process? And I was told they will come in later. No. I said we have to do it now because we're not going to get a lot of young people maybe in a couple of years. And so a couple of months after that, I learned that there will be a place for young people. And now I'm here, and I'm honored now to acknowledge that my idea was taken on board. I'm so thankful for that, and I think that this is a really great achievement on the way to the cooperation and coordination between the state and the private sector, and that's where we are working up to our mandate 100%. We have been talking a lot about human capital, reskilling, upskilling, females, employment for opportunities for females. So our panel now, of course, is fighting the stereotypes of women that the high rate of unemployment among women. Of course, it also depends a great deal on the females themselves. But so we, as a foundation, have done a lot of surveys. So last year at URC, we have presented a survey findings how the career vision of teenagers is at odds with what the state needs for recovery. It's like it's like 50% of match. So it's like 50% of teenagers do not see them in the professions that the state needs. This is like the extraction industries, because teens, they see themselves in IT, in creative industries. As you may have heard that, how many students do we get for chemistry and biology related specialties? They don't want they don't see themselves there, even though this is our specialists in agriculture related sectors. How are they? Maybe they are oblivious to how they are going to build their careers. Maybe the parents have their specific vision on a career path for their children. So why is Obrii special? What it can envisage, this understanding, this vision for teenagers aged 13, 14, what perspectives are out there, so that they can see at their age of 14 that there is a certain perspective for certain career paths. And it will be interesting also to address the question on which professions the businesses will need in 3 to 5 years' time. So because it's quite active, it's quite volatile. Those trends. Yes, but for businesses, it's also a challenge to make those forecasts. But yes, but we can try. We can try, and I'd like to see Obrii as a platform to create forecasts for businesses, for teenagers, for human capital indicators, and people who are going to come here from other countries to return. But I think that Obrii will give us an opportunity to integrate the useful efforts. But a short question here. What is the superpower of Obrii? So this information is available to graduates. What would be standing in their way? It's available. I mean, both to the graduates and to the school graduates and to their parents. Yes, but there are people who are on paid subscription to read this information. Unfortunately, in our society, we are not used to getting information through challenging ways. So a simple example here, my son is 24. He's learning to be an AI specialist in the US. Why he chose this field 5 years ago? Because his father is an IT person, and when they were strategizing in terms of the career path, a component to every job was an AI skill, but it wasn't really that big. Here we were not aware that it will turn that big, and we also did a survey on how parents choose a profession for their children. Oh, I know, they just want their children. Parents want their children to fall in their footsteps, to follow their footsteps. Well, I think that there are people who give more deeper thought to it. I'm sure that there is a big number of parents that go to Work UA and at least monitor the number of they just monitor what is available on job search websites. And but there is no unified platform available now for parents and children. And you can monitor and within this period of time, but you don't have really a stretched out timeline. So as a result, you get a lot of you get an influx of lawyers because the parents were monitoring something where through the period where the lawyers were popular as a profession. But it would be great to look at it through a special lens, and where their soft skills and hard skills could be analyzed, and then guide me to the information I need. That would be my dream platform, my dream service when I was a younger student. Well, we are adults. Speaking of what young people need. So Irina has a great podcast where she discusses the challenges, what stands in the way of professionals. In your perspective, is there a problem? Is there a challenge for young specialists? Yes, I've been thinking about this, and I don't think it's a challenge for young Ukrainians to find a job. They, in fact, start their careers quite early. For example, I started working since when I was a first-year student, the same as my friends. I now see young people working as their senior students. When I went to the UK, to Italy, and I told people there that I'm 19 and I'm head of a communications department in an IT company, and they looked at me and, thinking I was crazy, and they usually start looking for an internship opportunities after they have graduated from a college. So I think in our case there is no problem in finding a job, and the challenge is in realizing what kind of job it should be. And as Katerina has quite correctly pointed out, there is a slew of information available. So like a teacher or an IT person, this is something that everyone understands. But there are also many professions that people are not aware of, like UA, UX designer, web analyst, targetologist. People just don't know about these professions, and they don't know how to enter this path. I have a friend who wants to become a blogger, but she doesn't really understand specifically what one needs to do to become a blogger. It's not just about telling life or what you have eaten and what you're going to do. This, in fact, is a hard work, and behind those bloggers there are a lot of people and professions that support them. So I think that the outreach and awareness raising efforts here are crucial, and AI-powered efforts matter. That's why I like this AI integration in Obrii. So I graduated from Kiev Mahila Academy, such as the sociology department, and in fact, a lot of students, a lot of teachers, they were practitioners, and they invited a lot of students who wanted to be sociologists to have an internship in the leading companies in Ukraine. And I think that this collaboration and coordination between the universities and businesses and the state potentially, this is what we should have. What Obrii doesn't have, but maybe could have, is about the mentorship, about the personal contact. It's not when an adult tells you what you need to do with your life, but when your peer, actually, maybe 2 or 3 years older, that have freshly covered this path, if they could explain to you what it is about. So it would be great to add a mentorship program here for better awareness. So in fact, I have a new podcast idea for people who are at crossroads. For example, you're just sitting there thinking, racking your brain on what I'm going to become. I'm not going to be a millionaire by the age of 25. What do I I do next? You're trying to find some lessons learned. You're looking at those successful businessmen, and those successful people, they may have a quite similar career. They may look to have quite similar linear pathway as they have graduated, they have their business, and now they are rich. Well, in fact, there may be some other intricate details to these paths, and those unlinear, so to say, examples need to be highlighted, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Lilia, let's talk with you. How can we match it? I mean, on the one side, education, skills, interest of job seekers, economic needs, business needs, maybe our education system. How can we bring it together into a realistic working system? Well, thank you. My answer is Obrii. Okay, let's move on. This is basically my favorite module, and I really support and love it. I have told you about the professional development grants, and I told you that there is an issue of skills gap. And these grants, we are basically doing the firefighting exercise. But when it comes to the youth, what we want to do is to make sure that this issue is is addressed proactively. We need to close this gap in terms of skills, so we don't need to widen it. Now, let me explain how we are going to do that. When it comes to people, starting from 14 years old, we want to make sure that these students, they don't have to think throughout these 4 or 5 years they will be studying and looking for a new job. We need to make sure that they have 4 or 5 offers, job offers they can choose from. First stage, it's career guidance from the classroom. At 14, children don't know what career path would suit them, what works best for them, what their skills are, and that's where Obrii comes handy. We do the testing to find out what is the strength of these children. We also talk to the parents to make sure that we avoid any biases on their side. We, after this career guidance, we we do the matching. If necessary, we do additional and follow up with the parents, with the children, and explain them the best ways to proceed. This approach is evidence-based. It relies upon labor market focus, and we understand that in 10 to 15 years there will be a different demand for different professions rather than prosecutors. So we start with this work with the children and parents, and guide them and help them navigate through their study years. Then next stage is apprenticeship and mentorship, and Irina was talking about that. We do have this feature. We start with the first year of university study. The employers can see the students, and then they can invite students for apprenticeship. And our plan is that we will develop dual education. Will offer employers to employ students at early stages for them to have more experience and engagement with the employers. And of course, mentorship. Our plan is that we will have this feature. AI will be involved to offer a mentor for the job seeker to support their skills development. Then students graduate, and that's basically the stage I was talking about. What we want is to make sure that at graduation, the students have 5 job offers and can choose from these offers the best. And that's what we do for them. We support them in terms of CV preparation. We give advice how to do the interviews because it's a separate stream. And basically, we navigate these students towards their first job. We get them employed online through our system. It's easy. It takes one click, and they are employed. And our ultimate goal in terms of the youth is that we want to implement European youth guarantees in Ukraine. What it means is that in 4 months after the graduation, every student should have a job, should be employed. And that's basically our ultimate goal. So what I mean is that, for example, at grade 8 in the school, we do the school student profiling. We support the school students through the university and towards the first job. As I've said, we want to make sure that after the university, children have job offers. Okay, I have simple questions to you. By we, you mean the Ministry of Education? How it's going to work? Well, yes, we are going to work together with the Ministry of Education. We have discussed it with them. We will be integrated because we need to have visibility of all the students. And if people agree, we will access to all this information. It will enable us to get them integrated and navigated through Obrii. As I understand, finally, in Ukraine, we will have data on what's going on with the graduates after they graduate from universities, where they work, right? Yes, we will have this information that they have graduated, that 4 months have been over, and they have not been employed. Well, basically, that's the first reason why we should have created Obrii before. Because we need to understand what's going on with the graduates after the university. And my last question was the mascot you have on this, well, it's our moti. It's the mascot that is going to take the students and navigate them throughout their career path through Obrii. Great. Great, and now we will get to know people that Moti has to support. And thank you, by the way. So, Moti is supposed to guide people towards their employers, and we have representatives, MHP and Nova Poshta. Before talking about your business visions, first question, do you have a vision of whom you will need in 5 years? Sure, we sure do. And by the way, today we discussed the youth issue, the career guidance, and MHP has been employing and engaging people and job seekers and supporting them with career guidance. And I agree with the previous speakers that there is an issue of choosing the employment and career path. We are a company that is looking for digitally competent employees, but also for blue-collar workers. And since 2019, we have been actively working to make sure that many different professions are becoming more popular for children to be willing to go into those professions and build their career path around them. And we have a clear understanding of and the strategy of our needs in terms of employees, in terms of the workforce. For several years, we've been building our own schools. But what I mean is that, of course, corporate schools, where we train people and provide them with critical skills in terms of aligned with our business needs. We have over 10 corporate schools now where people can get reskilled and upskilled. It's available to both in-house employees and outside workforce. So to answer in brief, yes, we know up to 3, up to 5 years the business needs. Maybe you can mention 3 professions that I can follow. We will employ you if you apply. Well, what I would like to say is that MHP company, they use organ test in many interviews, and the organ test findings were that I'm not your best job candidate. Well, we have a lot of tools to develop our workforce. That's why we stay flexible. Thank you. Anna Maria, what about you? What about your 5-year horizon? Yes, we do have vision of our business needs. We will employ more blue workers. We are less focused on the support personnel, but we will focus on automating our equipment, our infrastructure. But still, we need classical blue workers. That's why we'll employ operators, loaders, and of course, couriers and drivers. Okay, let's now talk about Obrii. I know that your companies were chosen to take part in this event. Your companies are great. You can deal with your issues on your own. And probably the talent shortage for you is not so severe. You are able to find people on the labor market. You know how to do that. Why do you need Obrii? What are your expectations from this tool? Anastasia? Well, it's a great question. And I do agree that the businesses have to find different tools to meet their needs in terms of the workforce. But right now, the relations between the business and the government, they are entering a new era. We are basically building a win-win partnership. And the Obrii platform, from my perspective, it's a good opportunity to move on from the current model where business basically is a reporter and towards a model where we will have data exchange, which will facilitate the engagement between the business and the government. You're right that inside our company we have digitalized and are digitalizing our processes. It's must-have, not nice to have for us, for us to be able to meet our workforce needs. But still, we have some areas where we have to work with the government, and the data exchange will be useful for both actors. I really like that Obrii is going to support the youth. I really like that Obrii will help us to improve the awareness of job seekers around the vacancies. I like more digitalization around the HR processes. And I believe if we get it right, we will achieve the right synergy. To be more specific, in our case, on an annual basis, based on last year, we have hired over 8,000 people. It's and half, 6,500. It's blue-collar workers, and the other 1,500. It's white-collar workers working in our offices and in the other central and local levels. And these 8,000 employees, if you convert that into money and time, and do the assessments in terms of business and government collaboration. So if I do convert that into figures, it means we will see a significant reduction in terms of our efforts spent. And when it comes to the government, they will be able to provide better support to different people. And one of the important projects we are engaged right now around the employment, it's the employment of people from frontline areas, which involves relocation, housing for them. It's also about building a new ecosystem for the families, their socialization. And what we often face is that people who are relocated as part of this project, they don't know about many opportunities offered by the government. They don't know about the professional development grants and opportunities available at these employment agencies. And I believe Obrii can improve this situation and help us. We will, as employers, will be better off, and Ukrainian citizens, they will also be better off by having better opportunities. I do believe in that. Thank you. Anna Maria. What about you? I do believe in Obrii. I am really looking forward to the platform starting to work. And let me answer two issues here. When it comes to recruitment, in Nova Poshta, we have great recruitment system. But we employ over 1,000 people per month. I have recruiters working at the local level, employing blue workers. But the shortage right now is around 2,000 people. We have 2,000 open vacancies, including operators, loaders, couriers, drivers, and support office workers. And if we get an additional platform as a supporting tool, especially if it enables us to filter through based on CVs and the skills, if we will see true skills-based recruitment, then I'm sure we will speed up, we will be faster in terms of recruiting children, recruiting people. Of course, we are quite great in terms of employment. We spend around 30 to 35 days, calendar days, for the employment process, which includes the onboarding part, and it's quite a good performance, but I want to make it faster. When it comes to engagement of the youth, we're also interested. We are now reshaping our logistical systems, and we are looking for our best and brightest who have the education around algorithms and calculations, for them to be able to architect and to design our logistical system to improve its performance. And we will launch a campaign to find those people. We will start with 5 openings, and if Obrii will enable us to see the graduates, their achievements throughout the education system, their participations in the contest, it will be a very valuable tool for us, because we want to work with the young people. We have basically, people before 20 years, up to 25 years, they are a great workforce for us. Of course, there are different regulatory limitations in terms of the working conditions. Last week, there was a career festival. It was supported by WorkUA, and many young people, 17 plus, they came to us and they did a survey to mention their to indicate their contact data, because as soon as they turn 18, we will be actively trying to employ them. And in summer, we will have a lot of work to get better employments to meet our business needs. If we are not successful in the summer, we may lose the opportunities and not hire people we need. That's why we need to work in the summer. We need to, if we will be able to use Obrii system, if our HR people would be able to cut on their time they spend on employment, it will be really valuable for us. I know the functionality of Obrii, and I'm really liking it. Right now, my HR people are spending a lot of time on the paperwork, on employment records, and if it's going to be a one-stop shop and self-service for both the employer and the employee, if the data is accessed automatically, if we cut on the labor efforts, I will be really happy together with my team. It will mean more rest for them. Thank you, Anna.
Anna, it has been said that it won't be just CV-based, but skill-based. How will you find out that how will Obrii know if those skills are honestly registered and reported? So today we cannot demonstrate all the modules that Obrii is going to have, because our time is limited. But one of the modules is the market forecast, 5 to 10 years ahead. We are going to do it on the national scale, and this labor market forecasting will be grounded in not just in the current data that we are going to retrieve from the population, from the companies, and from the situation in the labor market. We will take it from the economic forecast, and seeing where we need people to recover the state, also depending on our reintegration obligations and so on. And so just for you to know that this is in our plans. In terms of e-employment module, it is the module that is going to comprise the job search component, creating the setting up of an Obrii ID, and then digital records management. So it has been said here that Obrii is going to be another channel for to find job seekers. Yes, it is so. Obrii is a wider system. It's a state system, but not its role is not going to be limited to the profiles of job seekers being available there. But it is necessary to achieve the goals of the labor policy that the goals of this policy that were announced in late 2025. One of the objectives, so to say, is to bridge the gaps between the demand and the availability of cadre, and we are going to use AI matching for that, and we hope that we are going to be successful in achieving this goal. That's why we're working on the tools. And as we can see here in one of our circles is Obrii ID. What it is about? It's about a profile of a job seeker. As they sign in with Obrii, they will see their profile, initial profile. They can add to this information to this profile or hide some data, and they can also see which skills they can choose by ISCO classification. And one of the obligations is that we need to join the EURUS network, and we're going to configure this in Obrii. And as I've told, the job seeker and the profile are going to be AI matched, and it's not only that their job offers will come based on the skills and qualifications available in the profile, but also with some opportunities, training opportunities in mind that can be provided by the state. So when there is a match between a job seeker and an employer, we will see that what has been on paper, the contracts, the agreements, the appointment certificates are going to be digital. We know that these are numerous. We have a draft labor code to be voted on by our members of the parliament, and we are going to have a designer, a special generator that will help model adequately all the needed documents, like, for example, an application to the tax office, sending out the relevant applications so that it's all automatic. So you don't have to create Obrii ID. Obrii ID is a CV per se, and this CV is generated from the data available in state registries, and of course an individual can choose to hide certain data that is available initially, and or add certain information, and also to accept or turn down the proposals that are fed through the AI matching. So we know that Nova Pošta and MHP that are present here today, they know about matching well through their HR departments, but when it comes to medium-sized and small businesses, they may have a gap in this capacity, and to them, even be informed on the step-by-step algorithm for this matching would be a great learning. My question is about timing. You said that it's going to be implemented. So when exactly? So per the optimistic scenario, as I've told you, that we're going to split this module in two stages. First is shaping the ID and matching. And second part is actually digital paperless employment records management. So this part exactly is going to be early next year, whereas the first part is going to be available this fall. So from my IT experience, and I created one whole website last week. So my experience tells me that it's not about setting something up, it's about making it complete. So I hope that we're all going to make use of this platform, mostly as employers. So thank you for this discussion, and let's greet our participants and moderator with a round of applause. So we are now getting closer to an epic moment. We have talked a lot about the new employment labor market of Ukraine. And I guess everyone understands that, and everyone is with me on that, that it's about people that return, people who go, or people who make a fresh start, people who take responsibility to give chances. Human capital is our main asset and the main force that Ukraine has, and our main task is not to let this force fade. Maybe it's also about rediscovering professionals. And we are going to see quite soon the documentary by Igor Finashkin. Igor is with us today. So it's a documentary by Igor called People. Or no, the first run of this film is in autumn this year, but we're going to see the prologue right now. So, or it's rather an official teaser of the Lude documentary. So in 2013, I moved to live and work in the Emirates, and I worked there for 5 years. And I met a lot of people, Ukrainians, that to a question, where are you from, what are you doing there, said, I'm from Ukraine, I moved here to work. So I started thinking then, if all the people that can think, that are people with brains, will just leave Ukraine because they think that out there is better, who is going to stay in Ukraine to improve the situation? With this thought in mind, in 2017, I moved back to Ukraine and started to invest in my skill building. And we all see how Ukraine is a player in the global context, and I would like everyone to contribute to the development of our country. So I'm Timofey Milovanov, founder of School of Economy, Kyiv School of Economy. Anna Bullock, I am a director for policy making in Google. I'm Tatiana Chorna, I'm vice president and regional manager for Visa Ukraine. I'm a restoration specialist. I'm CEO for New Project brand. I am Sergei Opanasenko, and I am the founder for Aurora Mega Markets. I am a Nova company founder. Slava Dorofan. You may know me by call sign Dorot, and I am a founder of technological company. Katya Osacha, I am a host and founder of a charity foundation. Alexei Sobolev, I am a minister for economy Economy, Environment and Agriculture. I'm acting head for the Minister of Digital Transformation, and I'm Director General for Kyivstar and company. Sibert Alexander. I'm Deputy Minister for Digitalization in the Ministry of Economy, and together with partners, we founded Genesis company, and we create businesses. I'm co-founder and board member of SoftServe company. So camera rolling, and we start. So we need to edit that. Okay, let's start. Camera rolling. So what human capital means to me, no matter how cynical it may sound, it's the most valuable asset of any state. This is the shoulders that is holding our everyday life, our services, our lives. This is the value, the team that we managed to get on board, and with whom we can achieve the results that we would like to achieve in any sector. So people and technologies that they created are the asset for our clients. That's why they shape a business. And you have to provide people with technologies that actually make their job as effective and comfortable and as possible for creating new products. Without these tools that you provide, intuitive and handy, you cannot expect a result. You cannot expect any effectiveness. Everything you have as main assets are people. It's people with their skills, with their experience, with their knowledge. They become the generators of all the values. People are the greatest asset, and we, as they do in many companies, we use human capital, and it may seem that there is no difference, but there is a difference. Human capital is always growing, and resources, we just we may lose them, and they're finite. So I have a favorite model, which is very simple, that I think of an enterprise. Enterprise is a black box with two forces. The first moving force is people, and the second force is money. And people are unique, but money isn't. In this black box at the outset, when you create a value, it is invaluable. Some people create the value that will last for years or for a shorter term. But I think that inside this black box is a place for magic. It's about people, it's about culture, it's about business processes and engaging with people, making them part of the business processes that make this business competitive. So this country is unique through its people. We want to have an impact on Ukrainian economy so that we are the best. Best investment is the investment that helps a person self-actualize. When it comes to development, it's important why we do that and what we invest into it. Education is a factor for capital recovery. The education can develop when people in the country develop, and we need to make everything we can to make it comfortable for people to work in the state. And we value the talent that is out there in our land, and every Ukrainian that is considering of coming back is a unique talent. And the education is about the people that are out there in the each square meter. And we are the millions of talented, hardworking people. If Ukraine fails to invest into human capital development, it's going to lose. But when it's going to invest into this, it's going to win in terms of receiving talent. So on the one hand, people are well educated and experienced. On the other hand, they are success hungry. And we see the results that we have despite the challenges we have been going through. If we are at the forefront of this transformation, creating the new environment of the 21st century, we will preserve the country of Ukraine. I don't like this word, human capital. It's a dead word. It's bureaucratic. It's about character, it's about skills, it's about capacity, it's about purpose, and it's about a community, it's about an environment where you can achieve the goals. It's about Ukraine, it's about every single Ukrainians that are beautiful in their diversity. This is about independence. So, when we speak of nation, we speak of human capital, we speak of patriotism, of resilience, of everything that we would like every single Ukrainian to have. So a person on its professional path is prone to self-improvement. So our path is about the path of each individual, and the goal of the state is the goal of each individual. And if the goal is for us to be free, to be smart, to be independent, it's a great state, because to me, the state is about people. So, we are looking forward to this fall when the documentary is out. So, in fact, a lot of protagonists of the Lude movie are among us, and during the networking session, you will have a chance to talk to them. So let's give each other a round of applause. And to all the people present here, because together we have made Obrii, the new ecosystem, possible. But we all are aware that this is just an early stage of this process, and which will make the employment relations clearer and more accessible for people in the state. We are thankful to our partners, Partnership for Resilient Ukraine, Visa, to the project on digitalization and transparency, UK Digit, funded by UK Development, and to BRDO, to SoftServe, and IMIDEA creative partner. So your trust and your expertise, your support makes it possible for Obrii to become more than a digital platform, but rather a partnership of businesses and people, state and people. Thank you for being with us. Thanks for being part of these wonderful new transformations.
Дякую.